1 year after the twin fire and flood disaster claimed over 150 lives. Communications manager for Zoom Lion, Robert Coleman, speaking on behalf of Dredge Masters, a company tasked to dredge the lagoon, told Joy News' Jifa Bampo that it would take at least 2 years to complete the dredging.
The choked lagoon was chiefly blamed for the twin disaster in June last year. The lagoon overflowed its bank after a heavy downpour, with the flood water moving into homes and offices sited close to the lagoon. In the midst of the flood, fire broke out at the Goil filling station at Circle, leaving in its wake charred bodies of trapped residents. It was a national disaster, one which triggered a blame campaign. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly came out bruised, with many Ghanaians blaming it for failing to dredge the Korle Lagoon, which was at the time choked with filth.
Now, after the disaster, the AMA began an exercise to desilt the lagoon, but it appears nothing much has been done. Robert Coleman, in that interview, said serious dredging of the Korle Lagoon began in December 2015. He says the volume of silted material found in the lagoon is more than what was initially estimated, adding the lagoon has about 19 tributaries, all of which discharge filthy materials into the lagoon. This, he said, has made dredging a lot more difficult.
Robert Coleman added a lot of work is being done on the lagoon, and he hopes the lagoon at the moment should be in the position to hold a lot of rain. However, Mr. Coleman explained that he could not divulge information about the cost of the project. He said the company is unable to say the volume of trash in the lagoon and can therefore not say the amount of money involved in dredging the lagoon.
And we turn our attention to Parliament because approval of the 2016 budgets for the operations of the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation suffered another setback Tuesday after the minority rejected the report of the Mines and Energy Committee over what it describes as inadequate information on key allocations in the budgets.
Amongst them is the allocation of 115 million Ghana cedis for the construction of a new head office building for the state oil firm. Whilst the majority in Parliament justifies the allocations in the budget it says are meant to position GNPC firmly in the oil and gas sector, the minority says until full disclosure is made, they will not be part of the process.
This compelled the first Deputy Speaker to suspend debates on the budgets.
Or under what broad category would they place the 100 million that GNPC committed to the Car Power? Car Power is a major intervention.
Fenyo Markin made a statement, and I think it is very, very important to clarify it. He made a statement that the president directed GNPC to enter into that contract. I want to clear that. The president never directed GNPC. GNPC acted within the mandate given them by PNDC Law 64. And I'll urge my colleagues to read Clause 3D, where it mandates GNPC to enter into trade, sale, transportation of petroleum products. And that is within the mandate of GNPC. If the agreement between Car Power and ECG and GNPC finds that there is a business opportunity to take advantage of, and it goes in to provide the guarantee to be able to enter into fuel purchase agreement with Car Power to be able to make some business commercial profit out of it. I think that is in the right direction.
Mr. Speaker, we have a Mr. Speaker, for research centers. I think that it's a very simple matter. It's a question of what you have in the facility, what equipment you have. What is the size of the facility? What areas of research are you looking at? The personnel. So it's a question of fact. You can go and verify, but don't create an impression. Don't create an impression that a research center cannot cost $100 million. Some research centers are worth billions of dollars. It's a question of fact, Mr. Speaker.
Saying that this morning, just before you came, you were told there was some money.
GNPC, Mr. Speaker, not gossip.
This is a house of record. Honorable member, this is a house of record.
I understand that, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate it. That is why I'm saying that let members vent their spleen of disillusionment. In the end, we'll resolve this matter. Because, Mr. Speaker, maybe you will call for some accountant or whatever to actually sit down with GMP so we understand their finances. We keep on approving, and then we hear this one has got this. The car power thing is a classic example. Mr. Speaker, it was not explained, but we thought that, well, look, we need power and whatever. GMPC is spreading itself, Mr. Speaker, pretty thin, and the board chairman is actually summed it up. They are broke. In the face of all the money, Mr. Speaker, this House has approved, they are broke. How come? Mr. Speaker, that is the issue.
Very well.
After that revelation by some of us, as we speak now, they are doing renovation of the Petroleum House. A colossal amount of 40 million Ghana cedis for that renovation. GMPC for you. 40 million Ghana cedis for that renovation. Mr. Speaker, what is all this?
Very well.
What is all this?
Your point is well made.
Mr. Speaker, I urge this House to stand down this motion and to GMPC provide proper account to the people of Ghana. As Speaker, I'm unable to support this motion because GMPC is becoming a monster. We need to discipline GMPC as a House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member of Parliament for Ibuako South, Samuel Atachia, who is leading the minority's call for the rejection of the report, tells parliamentary correspondent Elton Brobe GNPC's budget doesn't make economic sense.
We have a constitutional duty to oversight the executive. The national purse should always be a hole, or if you like, or an area that people can peek into to have understanding and meaning. Nobody should come and stand before Parliament and just wave his hand that we should approve programs for GNPC without we understanding what we are approving. So, for instance, we are so embarrassed by the fact that we do not know the contract sum for the construction of a new head office for GNPC, and that for 2016 alone, the amount budgeted for that project is 115.42 million Ghana cedis.
Isn't that the construction sum?
It is not a construction sum. It's the allotment for 2016, the expenditure for 2016. So
the construction of a head office.
For the construction of, yes. So therefore, what is the contract sum and how much are we paying? There are more issues to that. Who is a contractor? Was it the subject of a competitive bidding and the rest of it? The program is silent on all these matters. So they want to reduce this to a rubber stamp and just approve this and get away with it. Can you imagine?
You are not against the construction of a new office. Your issue has to do more with how much is going into it.
Precisely. What are we approving? Are we approving, excuse me to say, 1 billion Ghana cedis for an office complex? We should know, so that we come to terms with the fact that we are not misapplying the resources of this country. Do you know how much 115.42 million Ghana cedis can do to Kolebu Teaching Hospital? Let's think about it. Look at Research and Technology Center, GNPC, 69.73 million Ghana cedis, just for a research and technology center. What are the details? What is the purpose of the research? And what technology are they lacking that we should come to this kind of area? Then what is frightening for me is ICT upgrade and expansion. So they have ICT already, they want to expand it. 45.20 million Ghana cedis. ICT? What are we talking about? They have not given us any meaning and understanding as to what is involved. Then what I commented on, which is also very serious, interest payment. It's in the neighborhood of 66.20 million Ghana cedis.
And what's the principle?
The document is silent on it. So these are the areas we should interrogate. If not, for some analysis that might come later on, it will be rubbished here as that we are useless setup. That whatever is brought to Parliament, we have become like a conveyor belt. It passes. This is not our role. This is no oversight.
We'll move now to the Ashanti region, where the Ashanti region Police Commander DCOP Kofi Boakye has warned the police will not tolerate any more disturbances at Krofrom, a suburb of the regional capital. The warning comes after residents of the town hit the streets to protest an autopsy report which exonerates police officers accused of brutalizing a male resident of the town to death.
The report suggested the 22-year-old shoe dealer died of natural causes, but the residents say that is highly improbable.
It's laughable, and it's rather unfortunate any well-meaning person can make that unfortunate allusion, especially when somebody like Dr. Osei Sampene is concerned. And the question is, what do I even personally gain from in conniving with a doctor or a pathologist to either juice the report or change the report in favor of who? I think anybody thinking like that is quite, I can't say unscrupulous, but it's not a right-thinking person. The point of the fact is that people die from different ailments. And if you look at the coroner's report, they say the guy has what is called ventricular cardiac dilation, enlargement of the heart, and also congestive heart failure. These are normal things that even happen to footballers. So it's quite unfortunate anybody would think that police will connive with to gain what? And I will advise those who are following that line, especially the youth in Krofrom, that they should desist from any acts that may lead to further casualties, because the police are not going to sit down for them to take the law into their own hands, block the streets, and do other violent acts. I know for a fact that because of this unfortunate incidents, there are some unscrupulous interest groups who are instigating them. Some are even journalists trying to make the allusion that police has connived with people without any sensible foundation. So all that I will say is that we express our condolence to the family. We will continue to sympathize with them, but we are not going to tolerate any act of violence or indiscipline in the name of this death. Police are going to act swiftly, forcefully, and without any shade of fear in dealing with this Krofrom issue. And I think this afternoon will be the last time that anybody will come on the road. Because if you come on the road, we are going to use any force at our disposal to let people know that discipline will prevail in this Ashanti region. Those instigators must lead the demonstration so that they come and meet the police face to face. And we tell them that we are the only legitimate group which can use force sensibly in bringing law and order.
And that brings into mind what happens to the 5 officers who were detained as a result of this incident.
They have been bailed this afternoon, and people shouldn't forget that this autopsy report is part of the docket. In addition to other witness statements that have been taken, it will be sent to the Attorney General for the necessary advice. But as to the fact that the person was brutalized by police and that caused the death, it has been discounted right away by this autopsy report, because the family was there and they did physical inspection of the body before it was opened. Okay. And there was nothing, absolutely nothing, to indicate that the disease was brutalized. And that's what should sink into the head of the hoodlums who are trying to take advantage of this to cause mayhem in the city. And I must repeat, any act of indiscipline will be met with the necessary force. And I hope when the time comes, human rights activists will not complain.
And let's move away from the Ashanti region to the Bunoahafo region. Business and farming activities in the Bunoahafo regional capital of Brahani have returned to normal after the area recorded a number of deadly pneumococcal meningitis cases last year.
And our colleague Nesta Kafui Ajuma spent some time in the community and reports, even though the people are happy the outbreak is behind them, they wish it had never occurred.
Located in the Tyne district of the Bunoahafo region, Brahani is a densely populated community and people here are predominantly farmers. At the latter part of 2015, a new strain of meningitis emerged from this community and spread to other parts of the Bunoahafo region. As health workers tried to contain the disease, it rapidly spread to other parts of the country, killing 124 people. Today, a visit to Brahani depicts comfort and freedom of movement and association. Everyone here is happily going about their normal business activity. The news team caught up with 48-year-old Mami Mary, mother of late Abdul Razak. She recounts how her beloved and hardworking 15-year-old son passed away after suffering from pneumococcal meningitis infection.
He complained of headache, so I bought Kinky for him. After eating, he again complained of neck pains, so I told my mother to take him to the hospital. On arrival at the hospital, he was given drips several times. After some time, he could not talk again. We were transferred to Nsoko Hospital, but we lost him on arrival.
Painful as it is to lose her son, Mami Mary says she cannot comprehend circumstances surrounding the death of her JHS2 son. She wished such a disease outbreak never happened.
I still can't comprehend any time I remember what happened. I also can't argue with God, even though I wish to ask him for explanation. I simply don't understand how a little boy can die of headache. I recollect the incident like it happened yesterday.
Yes, I don't know what did die. Oh,
The townsfolk took the news team to the Brahani cemetery, where the bodies of the people who had died through pneumococcal meningitis infection were buried. This is a tomb of Abdul Razak, who, according to her mother, wanted to become a chartered accountant in future. The hope of his family seemed shattered with his death. Above her loss, Mami Mary and several others in Brahani keep hoping and praying that the pneumococcal meningitis outbreak will never again repeat itself. Tyne District Director of Health Services, Dr. Roxane J, has assured that even though the pneumococcal meningitis scare is over, his disease surveillance team is still monitoring the situation.
Before the outbreak, we had our surveillance system in place, but it has always been in place to look out for the use of public health importance, of which meningitis is one of them. Yes, the outbreak is over, but we've not let down our tools. Our surveillance system is still very active, and we've been convening several meetings together with the district epidemic management committee to always be on top of situations. So we've not let our tools down. Though meningitis is out, we are still looking out for a possibility of other epidemics taking us by surprise.
Nesta Kafui Ajomes report from Brohane in the Bonafo region.
The Ministry of Health is raising awareness about the dangers of shisha and emerging tobacco products patronized in some public entertainment centers across the country. The ministry's focal person on tobacco control, Dr. Che Farid, warns that one puff of the vaporized product is equivalent to smoking a whole stick of cigarette.
A new craze for the youth, shisha is a vaporized tobacco product inhaled through tubes. Dr. Farid, however, says the product has more dangerous health consequences than normal cigarettes and says the Health Ministry, in collaboration with the Food and Drugs Board, has moved to destroy many billboards advertising the product across the country.
And he was speaking at an event organized by the Coalition of NGOs in Health and the Ghana Health Service to launch World No Tobacco Day in Kumasi.
There's increasing flooding of our system with shisha equipment and shisha. And you have students and the girls who think it's a fun to puff shisha. But the sad thing is that one puff of shisha is equivalent to a whole stick of cigarette. So it is more dangerous, though it passes through the water pipe. The shisha is more dangerous than the industry is now trying to flavor the tobacco products, putting menthol and other things in it to give it a fine flavor and to tell you that, oh, it is now better. It is never better, but we have made a move and it is in a positive direction. For example, we have torn down many of the shisha billboards. At the beginning of the year, you would have seen at USC Junction, you would have also seen in places in Accra with billboards with shisha machines on it. The Food and Drug Authority has gone to put them all down because that amounts to tobacco advertising, promotion and sponsorship, which the Public Health Act Part 6 is against the TAPS, the Tobacco Advertising, Promotion and Sponsorship. So we have torn down some of those things. Number two is to bring in the shisha equipment. The Food and Drug Authority is reviewing the importation levies.
And we understand the shisha craze is even well alive in the studio. So if you're watching, you've got a shisha experience you might want to share with us. And is that advice by the doctor scary enough to make you want to stop, puffing the shisha? Do you?
No, I don't.
Okay. Let's move on. The deadline given by the Electoral Commission to political parties to show evidence it has offices in more than 2/3 districts expired Tuesday. The Commission is threatening to ban parties that do not meet this deadline in accordance with the country's electoral laws.
At least 4 parties, including the CPP, Independent People's Party, National Democratic Party and Ghana Freedom Party, have submitted the documents. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo has more in this report.
We are the headquarters of the Electoral Commission at RAGE here in Accra. Well, as we all know, today is the deadline that the Electoral Commission has given the various political parties to provide it with evidence that have party offices in various parts of the country and also to provide their audited accounts. Well, today, a number of the party officials have been coming in to submit these documents. We understand that the National Democratic Party, they've been here to submit the details to the Commission's registry. And also the Ghana Freedom Party, the leader of that party, Madam Ekia Donko, is also here at the Electoral Commission's premises to submit those details.
Electoral Commission hadn't said, what can I say? Yamfa ya krata kyerɛ sɛ yɛwɔ wɔse kaa yɛabɔ ɛkaa ma bɔ memfa mmra metwerɛ krata abae ama wɔka sɛ wɔpɛ sɛ auditors ɛna twerɛ ampa mekɔe ma auditors yɛatwerɛ nti wɔatwerɛ a wɔsam de ba nti ɔmede ba no kyerɛ sɛ wɔse office a yɛwɔ anaasɛ ɛkaa ma bɔ. Okay,
so Madam Ekia Donko has been explaining to us that she is here at the EC headquarters to submit the audited accounts of the party. She says she was here the first time, but then she was turned away because the document was actually not signed by her auditors, and she went and she's brought back the real audited account. She also says that she's been providing details of the party's offices across 275 constituencies here in the country, including areas like Tumu and in Kwanzan North all those details are part of the documents that she's been presenting to the Electoral Commission. So apart from the Ghana Freedom Party, yesterday as well, the Convention People's Party's officials were here to also submit their documents. It's a very simple process. You get to the EC headquarters, you are directed to the registry, you hand over the documents, the necessary stamps are, pasted in it to indicate that you really submitted the documents, and then beyond then, you are allowed to go. From the headquarters of the Electoral Commission, my name is Joseph Opoku-Gapo.
All right, and from our headquarters right here in Kokomlemle, that's it for the AM News for now?
For now, yes. And when we come back, we'll be bringing you front page headlines as well as back page stories on the newspapers today.
Yeah, we'll also visit a few of the news portals. We're getting your messages, a lot more of those on 0560 800,000. You're watching the AM show. It's the midweek edition, and this is also the beginning of a fresh month. With half the year, Bernice. This is June. Yeah. Amazing.
It's a good feeling, isn't it?
It is. God has brought us really, really far. Stay with us.